Achlorophyllus means it is achlorophyllus means there is a lack of chlorophyll pigment. Okay, that's why they can called as achlorophyllus or the achlorophyllus. And heterotrophic means those organisms which depend upon the others for their food and they cannot prepare their food due to the absence of chlorophyll pigment. Okay, that's why they can called as heterotrophic organisms. So algae are heterotrophic organisms and they are also achlorophyllus thallophyta. Okay, they are generally thallophytes, eukaryotic, and also spore-bearing organisms. Who? Fungi. Fungi are the achlorophyllus, heterotrophic, thallophyta, eukaryotic, and spore-bearing organisms. Next come to the point. The plant body of the thallus or plant body of the fungus is generally made up of mostly a thallus, which is we can also called as hyphae, and uh, and more than one hyphae together constitute a mycelium. Okay, the thallus body of the fungi is known as hyphae, and more than one hyphae is together constitute mycelium. So let's discuss about elaborately about the general characteristics of the fungi or the fungus. The study of the fungi we can otherwise called as it is mycology. Mycology. Myco means fungus and logy means study. That means fungus related study or the mushroom related study. Okay. Or you can otherwise called as myco means it is a mushroom or myco means it is also a fungi. It is a mushroom related study or the fungus related study. Myco means fungus and logy means related study. That means mycology means it is the study of the fungus or we can also study about the mushroom. And those who concerned with the fungi or those who concerned with the study of the fungi we can call them as mycologist. Okay? Mycologist. Next come to the point general characteristics of the fungus. So one by one we will discuss about what are the general characteristics of the fungus. So in case of the first thing I have already discussed about that. These are the achlorophyllus and the heterophytic or the heterotrophic we can also say. Okay, that's why they cannot prepare their own food because they lack the chlorophyll. Okay, chlorophyll pigment. Next come to the point. Generally the fungus are it is cosmopolitan in distribution. As we have said that there are the variety of the mushrooms are available in the markets. Variety of the mushrooms available होची कि नहीं, but they are growing in different places. Okay, some mushrooms are grown in the straw or some mushrooms are grown in the soil and some mushrooms are grown on the sandy or the damp area. Okay, and so that's why we can call it as it is cosmopolitan in distributions and it occurs any habitat. Okay, it where the life is possible. That means it is found everywhere. Cosmopolitan means it is found where everywhere, and also some fungi occurs in the fresh water or also some fungi occurs in case of the marine water. Okay, and others fungi may also be found in the terrestrial or the land habitats. Let's come to the point. Many fungus are or the fungi are parasitic. Parasitic, you all of you know, many fungus are parasitic, infecting plants, animals, and also human beings. Okay, parasitic. Is there anyone else who can say what do you mean by the parasite?
Ma'am, which derive nutrition from others, but harm others.
Yes, just like as you can take the mosquito. Okay, it bites us and it sucks blood from our body, and it
Right.
also causes malaria in case of us. Okay, very good, Sonali. Next point is the plant body of the fungus is typically consist of branched and filamentous hyphae. Okay, here you can see it is a plant body of the fungus. Okay, it is a plant body of the fungus. Here it is consist of the branched. These are the branched. Okay, and these are the partition is there that is called as hyphae, and which form a net-like structures that is called as mycelium. Here the mycelium is not present. Here you can see these are overall branch filamentous. Here the branch filamentous are present, and it is typically filamentous hyphae, and they together form a net-like structure that is known as mycelium. Okay. Next, come to the point, the hyphae. Hyphae means there is a septate, or here you can see these are the hyphae. Here these are the hyphae. Okay, these are the hyphae, and there is a septate. Septate means partition, partition. Okay, there is a line between the two hyphae that is called as septate. If there is no line, then we can call as it is aseptate. But here we can say that it is septate hypha. Okay, why it is called a septate hypha? Because there is a line between the two hyphae. That's why we can call that is as septate hyphae. And if the line is absent, then we can call as it is aseptate. Okay. And in some cases we can also say that the fungus are sinusotic. Okay, sinusotic, or it may be uni or the binucleated. That means it may contain only single nucleus, or it may contain two nucleus. Okay. Next, come to the point, thallus. In case of the fungus, the thallus may be unicellular or the filamentous, or it have the more non-motile mycelium or the hyphae, and they are either grown in the substratum or in the growth of the hyphae is the apical. The thallus is unicellular, that means single, and filamentous. It may be filamentous. Here you can see these are the filamentous like structures. You can see it is a filamentous or the chain like structures. Okay, filamentous like structures or the chain like structures, and they are also grown in attached to the substratum. Next, come to the point, nucleus. In case of the fungi are always eukaryotic. That means their body or their thallus is made up of multicellular. Okay, that's why they can called as eukaryotic, and they may uni or the multinucleated. Whether there are maybe single nucleus is present, or many type of the nucleus are present. Okay, and nutritions. In case of the fungi, there is always heterotrophic mode of the nutrition is present. Heterotrophic, you all of you know that they depend upon the others for their food. They cannot prepare their own food due to the absence of chlorophyll pigment. Okay. Next, come to the point, cellule. Cellule means the inside wall of the fungus or the wall of the fungus. The wall or the fungal cell wall is generally made up of glucan and chitin. Okay, the fungal cell wall is made up of glucan and chitin, and generally they mostly exhibit a simple type of the life cycle. They don't have any complicated type of the life cycle that of any angiosperms, or that is algae, or like the pteridophyte or the bryophyte. They only exhibit a simple type of life cycles. Later we will discuss. Okay, now we are discussing about general characteristics. Next, come to the point, reproductions. It is under the general characteristics. We are not elaborately explaining about the reproduction. Okay, the reproduction is generally fungi. It takes place by the two process, or the we can also say that it is takes place by the three process. First one is the asexual, and the second one is the sexual. Okay, first one is the asexual, second one is the sexual, and third one we can also say that it is vegetative. Okay, next, sexual, or generally the spores are formed during the asexual reproductions. Overall, the asexual reproduction, mainly the spores are takes place where to carry out the asexual reproduction in case of the fungus. Next, come to the point, range of thallus organizations in the fungus. Range of thallus organization means the thallus of the fungi are divided into many parts and how it is organized. Okay. ଯେମିତିକି ମୁଁ କହିଥିଲି ତମ true fungi, just like as true fungi, generally it is exhibit a wide variety of the thallus organization. It may be unicellular, or it may be filamentous, or it may be promycelium. Okay, unicellular, filamentous, or it may be a promycelium. Here we will discuss about what do you mean by the unicellular thallus organization. Generally, the unicellular thallus organization, it is usually seen in case of the lower group of the fungi. Okay, lower group of the fungi, just like as yeast, it is a unicellular fungus, or the Saccharomyces cerevisiae, it is also one type of the unicellular fungus. Here you can see the structure of the unicellular fungus. Here, these are the structure of the unicellular fungus. These are the unicellular rhizoids are present, or the hair-like structures are present. This is called as rhizoids or the unicellular fungus. Okay, and it is also, you can see, it is a unicellular yeast structure, or you can also take the example of the unicellular fungus. Okay. Next, come to the point. What is promycelium? Promycelium is general yeast cells. We are always taking the yeast cells. Yeast cells means we can also take the example of the Saccharomyces cerevisiae. It is also one type of the unicellular yeast. Okay, it is usually reproduced asexually by the budding. Promycelium means yeast or the unicellular uh, yeast or the unicellular fungus which usually reproduces by the process of the budding. Budding में क्या होता है? Is there anyone else who can say what is the process of budding?
Ma'am, there is a protruding growth out of the one of the from one of the side of the unicellular organism, and this separates from that organism and develops as a new organism.
Separates from their parent body, and after detaching their parent body, they develop into a new individual or new plant. Very
Yeah.
good. Here you can also take the example of the promyceliums. I have given here, you can see these are the promyceliums. Here these are the bird-like structures. Okay, these are the bird-like structures or a chain of birds. Here you can see these are the chain of birds. Okay, it is a promycelium. What happened in case of the promycelium? The yeast cells. These are the yeast cells usually reproduce asexually by the budding. Budding से क्या होता है? एक से और एक protuberance or outgrowth like structures will be formed, and these outgrowth like structures will be, क्या होता है, धीरे धीरे ग्रो करते हैं. ग्रो करने के बाद वो क्या करते हैं, पेरेंट बॉडी से डिटैच्ड हो जाते हैं. डिटैच्ड होने के बाद वो क्या करते हैं, इंडिविजुअल एक प्लांट को ग्रो करते हैं. दैट इज नोन एज प्रोमाइसिलियम. Okay, here you can see these are the structures of the promycelium. Next, come to the point, filamentous form. Here you can see it is a filamentous form. Okay, filamentous in some higher fungi. It is a filamentous form. In some higher fungi, generally the thallus is made up of long and slender filamentous. In some higher fungi, generally the thallus are made up of long and slender filamentous. It is called as hyphae. These are long and slender. These are called as the hyphae. Okay, and here we are mentioned that it is septate filamentous and sorry, a long and hyphae, that is called as filamentous like structures, and on basing of the septation it is divided into two part. Okay, one is the filamentous septate, another one is the filamentous aseptate. Here you can are you able to say that why it is called as filamentous aseptate?
Ma'am, because
Why
there
it is
is
called?
no partition or line in between that filament.
Very good. There is no partition or the line between any hyphae. But here we can say that it is filamentous septate because there is a partitions or there is a line between the hyphae. That's why it is called as filamentous septate. And here you can say it is filamentous aseptate. Okay. Next. Next, it is plectochyma. It is also another type of the thallus-like structures which are present, or the organization of the thallus in case of fungi. Okay, and plectochyma. Here you can see these are the structures of the plectochyma. Here it is a structure of the plectochyma. It is compactly or loosely woven mass of fungal hyphae. Okay, these are the fungal hyphae. They are present together or loosely arranged or they are compactly arranged. Okay, these are the mass of fungal hyphae, either they are present in loosely arranged or they are present in compactly arranged. That is known as plectenchyma, and it is also again of two types. Okay, one is the prosenchyma, another one is the pseudoparenchyma. But in case of the prosenchyma, um, here you can see these are the structures. It is easily x 1 second. Sorry. Huh. Here you can see these are the prosenchyma, and sorry, I have shown you that this picture is the plectenchyma, but it is differentiated into two parts. One is the prosenchyma, another one is the pseudoparenchyma. But here you can say that in this type of the hyphae, that means this hyphae, if it is present parallel to another hyphae, you can see this hyphae is present parallel to this type of the hyphae, then in that condition we can call it as only progenchyma. Okay, but if this but they are lies side by side, then we can call it as these are pseudoparenchyma. Okay, that means if the two hyphae are lies parallel to each other, then we can call it as it is progenchyma. Progenchyma. But if they are lie side by side, here you can see they are lie side by side. Here one hyphae, here one hyphae, here one hyphae, here also one hyphae, here also one hyphae. मतलब इसके बाद ये है, इसके बाद ये है, इसके बाद ये है, ये है. They are lying side by side. They are, that's why we can call them as pseudoparenchyma. Okay. These are the thallus of organization in case of the fungus. Next, come to the point cell wall in fungi. What type of the cell wall is found in case of the fungus? Generally, we have already discussed about that, the cell wall in fungi, that the main component of the cell wall of fungi is the chitin. Okay, chitin. It is generally similar to that of the plant cell wall, but it is unlike to the animals. It is not equivalent with the animals, but it is just like or few more equivalent with that of the plant, because it is consist of the more hyphal cell, and these are surrounded by a well developed cell wall cell. And in case of the fungus, it is almost a dynamic structures, and it can also go any modifications at the different stages of their life cycles. And it is mostly consist of the various type of the chemically compositions. First one is it is consist of the chitin, and second one is the glucan, and third one is the cellulose, and fourth one is the glucosan, chitosan, and the fifth one is the proteins. Okay, the cell wall of the fungus is mainly consist of the main five components. First one is the chitin, which is the one of the most important composition of the fungal cell wall, and second one is the chitosan, and third one is the glucan, and the fourth one is the cellulose, and fifth one is the proteins, etc. Okay, so what are the functions of the cell wall, or what are the functions of the cell wall of fungi? Not only the cell wall of the fungi, in any other any other cell wall, what is the functions of any cell wall?
Ma'am, it protects the inner contents from any damage or attack from the surrounding surrounding any attack from surrounding any danger coming from outside.
Okay, that's good. It also protect the some. It also protect the innermost cell of the fungal cell wall from the any external injury or from any mechanical injury. Okay. It also helps to maintain the turgor pressure. Turgor pressure means turgor pressure means to maintain the मतलब सेल के बॉडी के अंदर में जितना भी वाटर कंटेंट रहना चाहिए वो क्या करता है मेंटेन करता है. दैट इज नोन एज टर्गर प्रेशर और एंडोस्मोसिस. ओके, मतलब सेल में जितना पानी होना चाहिए वो क्या करता है मेंटेन करता है. दैट इज नोन एज टर्गर प्रेशर्स, और वी कैन आल्सो से दैट इट इज एंडोस्मोसिस. इट आल्सो प्रोवाइड द शेप टू द हाइफी ऑफ द फंगस. मतलब फंगस का जो हाइफा होता है या फिर जो उसका जो थैलस लाइक स्ट्रक्चर्स होता है, सेल वॉल क्या करता है उसे एक शेप प्रोवाइड करता है. मतलब उसका जितना जितना डिफरेंट डिफरेंट शेप होता है वो प्रोवाइड कौन करता है? सेल वॉल प्रोवाइड करता है, ठीक है। और इट ऑल्सो डिटरमाइन द परमिएबिलिटी, it also determine the permeability. What do you mean by the permeability?
मैम इट्स लाइक मतलब जब पेड़ को मतलब जब वाटर चाहिए तो मतलब समथिंग इज देयर, मतलब जो चाहिए पेड़ को वो वही चीज ही उसको मतलब अंदर जाने देता है सेल के अंदर। जो चीज एक्सेप्टेबल नहीं है वो उसके अंदर नहीं जाने देता है। समथिंग
Very
लाइक
good, Mamta.
वाटर।
Very good. Something like water. Water is always permeable. ठीक है। मतलब कुछ कुछ होता है कि जो कि मतलब इम्परमिएबल भी। परमिएबिलिटी इज अ थ्री टाइप: परमिएबल, सेमी परमिएबल एंड इम्परमिएबल। परमिएबल मतलब हर चीज को वो प्लांट के अंदर में अलाउ करता है। सेमी परमिएबल मतलब जो मतलब बोलते हैं ना छान छान के लेता है, या फिर हाफ मेम्ब्रेन को अलाउ करता है, ठीक है। मतलब जो जो चीज चाहिए होता है प्लांट के लिए बस उसी उसी मतलब न्यूट्रिएंट हो या फिर मटेरियल हो कुछ भी, या फिर क्या बोलते हैं मिनरल सोर्स हो या फिर ऑर्गेनिक या कुछ भी जो भी चाहिए प्लांट के लिए, वो क्या करता है मतलब चुन चुन के उससे अंदर छोड़ता है। लेकिन जो इम्परमिएबिलिटी होता है वो कुछ भी चीज को प्लांट के अंदर में नहीं छोड़ता है, दैट इज कॉल्ड एज इम्परमिएबिलिटी। ओके, वेरी गुड ममता। सेल वॉल ऑल्सो प्रोटेक्ट द प्रोटोप्लास्ट। जनरली सेल के अंदर में क्या होता है? प्रोटोप्लास्ट होता है, मतलब प्लांट हो या फिर एनिमल हो उसके बॉडी के अंदर में प्रोटोप्लास्ट होता है। और सेल वॉल क्या करता है? यही प्रोटोप्लास्ट को प्रोटेक्ट करता है, ठीक है। और वो क्या करता है? सेल वॉल हैज आल्सो वन ऑफ द मोस्ट इंपोर्टेंट फंक्शन दैट इट आल्सो रिकॉग्नाइज द इवेंट्स व्हिच इज एसोसिएटेड विद द सेक्सुअल रिप्रोडक्शन। मतलब जो फंगस में जो भी सेक्सुअल रिप्रोडक्शन हो रहा है उसके साथ जो जो सब इवेंट्स एसोसिएटेड होते हैं वो उसे रिकॉग्नाइज करता है, ठीक है। And it also help to interact with any other animals or जैसे कि fungi with the plants or the animals etc. Next come to the point, nutrition in case of the fungus. Nutrition generally from the basically nutrition point of the view, fungus is divided into three parts. One is the parasite, another one is the saprophyte, and third one is the symbionts. Okay, why we can call as their parasites, saprophytes, or the symbiotes? Why we can just call them as the autotrophs?
And because they're devoid of chlorophyll.
Very good, devoid. That means they lack chlorophyll or they are achlorophyllous. Okay, that's why we can't call them as they are autotrophic. They are generally heterotrophic due to lack or the devoid of the chlorophyllus or the chlorophyll pigment. Here you can say that the from the nutrition point of view, the fungi is divided into generally three parts. One is the parasitic, another one is the saprophytic, third one is the symbiotic. So let's discuss about parasitic. Parasitic, those those organisms or those fungi which obtain their food from the host cell, ठीक है। जैसे कि अगर हम लोग को मस्क्यूटो बाइट करता है तो हम लोग क्या हुए? होस्ट सेल हुए। मस्क्यूटो क्या हुआ? पैरासाइट हुआ कि नहीं? जैसे कि मस्क्यूटो आके हम लोग से अपना फूड ऑब्टेन करता है, हम लोग को बाइट करने के बाद हम लोग के बॉडी से क्या करता है? खून चूस लेता है। दैट वो क्या होता है? उसका फूड हुआ खून। मतलब हम लोग के बॉडी के जो वो काटता है, दैट मीन्स वी आर द होस्ट and mosquito are the parasite. They are biting us and also suck the blood from our body. That's why we can also call them as parasite. Likewise, the mosquito, the fungi, they also obtain their food from the host cells. Okay. Next, generally the many parasites grow on the surface of the specialized structures, or they may be hostoria. Hostoria means they have the capability to absorb any kind of the minerals from the soil, okay, or to absorb any kind of the food. And there are also two type of the parasite. One is the endoparasite, another one is the ectoparasites. Who can say what do you mean by the endoparasite and what do you mean by the ectoparasites?
Ma'am, endo means live inside and ecto means outside external environment.
Very good. Endo means it lives inside our intestine or inside our body. Okay, that is called as endoparasites. And ecto means the fungi that lives outside of the body, that is known as ectoparasites. Okay. Example, we can also take the example of the Poxinia. Poxinia is also a endoparasite. Okay. Next, come to the point, saprophytes. What do you mean by the saprophytes?
And the organisms which derive nutrition from the dead and decaying matter.
Very good. Saprophytes, that means those organisms which as we are taking example of the fungi because we are discussing about fungus, okay, or our main focus is on fungus, that's why we are also discussing about. So you can also tell that the fungi which obtain their food from the dead and decaying organic matter, we can also call them as saprophyte. And on basing of their food habitats, we can also divided the saprophytes into two parts. One is the obligate saprophytes, another one is the facultative saprophytes. Okay. So what do you mean by the obligate saprophytes? Obligate saprophytes means those fungus which obtain their food from the dead and decaying organic matter from their throughout their life. मतलब पूरा life वो क्या करते हैं, dead and decaying organic matter से अपना food obtain करते हैं. That's why we can call them as obligate saprophytes. Okay. लेकिन कुछ कुछ conditions क्या होते हैं, मतलब जो फैकल्टेटिव सैप्रोफाइट्स होते हैं, यस, दे ओनली लिव ऑन द डेड प्लांट्स, और नो दे डोंट लिव ऑन द डेड प्लांट्स, दे ऑब्टेन देयर फूड फ्रॉम द डेड प्लांट्स. ओके ज्योतिरंजन. Next is your facultative saprophytes. Facultative saprophytes means they don't obtain their food from the, they obtain their food from the dead and decaying organic, but not the throughout of their life. Sometimes they depend upon the other host cell, likewise the parasites. Okay, that's why they are called as facultative saprophytes. Is that clear, all of you? Hello, is that clear, all of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes,
Next,
ma'am.
come to the point, symbionts. What do you mean by the symbionts or the symbiosis? We can also say that. Okay. Symbionts. Symbionts means it is an organic relationship between whom? Whom
Fungi
we
and
can
fungi.
say
Algae and fungi.
Algae and fungi.
Algae and
algae and fungi. वो क्या होता है? Symbiotic
Lichen.
relationship. Lichen. Very good. It is an organic relationship or relationship between the two individuals in both. मतलब सिम्बायोसिस क्या होता है? इट इज ऑल्सो वन टाइप ऑफ द रिलेशनशिप मतलब बोथ मतलब इंडिविजुअल में होता है, वेदर जैसे कि एक फंगई में होता है और एक algae में होता है. लेकिन सिम्बायोसिस का मतलब क्या होता है? एक दूसरे को
Mut-
हार्म करना या फिर एक दूसरे को मतलब बेनिफिट देना
help
या फिर.
करना benefit.
Benefit.
वेरी गुड. सिम्बायोसिस मतलब म्यूचुअल बेनिफिटेड ईच अदर, मतलब वो अगर इससे हेल्प कर रहा था वो भी उससे हेल्प करेगा. दैट मीन्स बोथ आर बेनिफिटेड फ्रॉम ईच अदर. दैट इज नोन एज symbiotic or the symbionts. Just like was we can also take the example Pinus roxburghi. It is also one type of the symbionts. Here your nutrition in fungi is finished. Next come to the point, reproduction in the fungi. So what do you mean by the reproduction in fungi? Okay. Generally, the reproduction is overall takes place by the hyphae or the thallus of the fungus. Okay. And in fungi, it is generally represented by the three types. One is the vegetative reproductions, another one is the sexual reproductions, and third one is the asexual reproductions. But with the involvement of the thallus, or I have already discussed about that, the overall part of the thallus of the fungus is involved in case of the reproductions. Due to the basis of the involvement of the thallus in the overall reproductions, the fungus is divided into two types. One is the holocarpic, another one is the eucarpic. Holocarpic means what and eucarpic means what? I've already discussed about that, the involvement of thallus, where in case of the sexual or any reproduction in case of the fungus, there is also always the involvement of the thallus occur. ठीक है, और वही thallus को बेस करके fungi में जो reproduction है, it is divided into two part. One is the holocarpic, another one is the eucarpic. ठीक है. holocarpic किसे बोला जाता है? जैसे कि मतलब फंगस का एक थैलस है, ठीक है, थालस मतलब क्या, थालस में दो पार्ट होता है, एक वेजिटेटिव पार्ट होता है, एक रिप्रोडक्टिव पार्ट होता है। अगर एक थालस का मतलब पूरा ओवरऑल द वेजिटेटिव एंड रिप्रोडक्टिव पार्ट both will be treated as the both will be treated in there or they will be developed as a thallus or sorry, when the entire fungus thallus is converted into one or more reproductive structures, ठीक है, so that the vegetative and reproductive phase do not occur in the same individuals and are called as holocarpic। मतलब होता है कि मैं अभी आपको बोली, मतलब एक थालस मतलब उसमें दो फेजेस होता है, एक वेजिटेटिव फेजेस होगा और एक रिप्रोडक्टिव फेजेस होगा। लेकिन एक फंगस में अगर ये दोनों फेजेस ही मतलब नहीं होंगे लेकिन ओवरऑल थालस ही उसे रिप्रेजेंट करेगा सेक्सुअल रिप्रोडक्शन के लिए, देन इन दैट कंडीशन वी कैन कॉल्ड एज इट इज ए होलोकार्पिक। बट इट इज ऑपोजिट इन केस ऑफ द यूकार्पिक। यूकार्पिक में क्या होता है, वही थालस मतलब पार्टिसिपेट करेगा मतलब रिप्रोडक्शन में, लेकिन only the vegetative one will be only the vegetative one will be or the sorry, only the reproductive one will be treated as the or participate in case of the reproductions, whereas the vegetative will remain as remain as soon, okay। Vegetative will be grow as and it has no role in case of the reproductive part in case of eucarpic, but in case of the holocarpic both the vegetative and reproductive part both develop into a thallus and both take part in case of the reproductions, okay। So next come to the point, what do you mean by the vegetative reproductions? Generally, the vegetative reproduction in case of the fungus takes place by means of the various processes. First one is the fragmentations. What do you mean by the fragmentations? Hello, what do you mean by the fragmentations?
Ma'am, the
छोटे
organism,
छोटे
Yes,
the
say one by one. Say one by one.
the organisms get divided into several fragments, and then each fragment develops into a new individual.
Very good. Say Ritik.
the main fungoid body is divided into several fragments. This is called as fragmentation.
Several fragments, and each fragment is developed into a new hyphae that is called as fragmentation. Okay, thank you all of you. Next come to the point, fission. Okay, fission means, and in case of the fungi or the fungal hypha, it is a process in which the cell simply breaks into two daughter cells or there is a transverse divisions occur. Okay, by the transverse division, it is divided into two parts or between the two cells there is a constriction occur. Here you can see, one second, I will show you. Here you can see it is a cell, okay, by the formation of the constrictions, by the, suppose this one is a one type of the cells, okay, by the fission. What happened in case of the fission? In case of the fission, a constrictions or a wall is formed or there is a transverse divisions occur by which it divides into two daughter cells, okay. Out of the two daughter cells, one daughter will or both of the two daughter cells will develop into a new individuals that is called as fissions। फिशन में क्या होता है, सिंपली ब्रेक्स होगा ये दोनों में से, ठीक है, या फिर एक कंस्ट्रिक्शन या फिर एक क्लीवेज होगा जिसके वजह से ये जो टोटली जो ऑल ओवर द सेल विल बी डिवाइडेड इनटू टू पार्ट्स and each part will treated as the fungal hyphae and it is usually unicellular in structures. Example, you can take the example of yeast, okay, fission, it is always occurs in case of the yeast. Next come to the point, budding. Budding is also another part of the vegetative reproductions. What do you mean by the budding? We have already discussed in case of the budding or the like the progenkymatus we have already discussed, ठीक है। बडिंग में क्या होता है, सपोज दिस वन इज, okay, this one is some outgrowth like protuberance occurs in case of the main thallus. Main thallus, this one is the plant thallus and this was is some main some protuberance like structures are developed on the main plant body, but after some days or after getting some foods or the nutrients from the parent body they grow in size, okay, they grow in size or grew in size, and some days fully grown होने के बाद वो क्या करते हैं, parent body से detached हो जाते हैं, ठीक है, they will be detached from the parent body and they will grown into as a new individual, that is known as budding. Budding, okay. It is also found in case of unicellular yeast. Unicellular yeast, okay. Budding, fission, fragmentations, all are found in case of the yeast. Next, come to the point, rhizomorph. Rhizomorph. Here you can see these are the structures of the rhizomorph. It is a structure of rhizomorph. Okay, rhizomorph means it is a thick, dark colored strands of somatic hypha. That means it is a vegetative hyphae which are run parallel to each other. Okay, these are the vegetative hyphae or the thick or dark band-like structures, and they are moved parallel to each other. Parallel to each other, and they also undergoes of the bark of the tree. It is not necessary. It is always found in case of the agaricus. 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 It is also one type of the fungus. Okay. Next, come to the point, sclerosium. It is a structure of the sclerosium. Here you can see these are the structures of the sclerosium. It is a tough and hard structures, resting bodies. ये क्यों होता है? It is a tough and hard. These are the hair-like structures, but it is not as very smooth or very soft. No, it is very hard and tough. Why it is very hard and tough? Because to resist the unfavorable conditions. Okay, जो मतलब unfavorable conditions होते हैं उसको resist करने के लिए generally the sclerosium like structures are present in case of the fungus. Okay, and ये मतलब जब unfavorable conditions होता है ये क्या करता है ना, unfavorable condition जाने के बाद it may remain dormant period. Dormant period होने के बाद फिर favorable condition जब आता है as usual treated करता है. Next, come to the point, asexual reproductions. Here is your vegetative reproduction finished. In case of the vegetative reproductions, first one is the fragmentation, second one is the fission, third one is the budding, fourth one is the rhizomorph, and fifth one is your sclerosium. Okay. Next, come to the point, asexual reproduction. I have already discussed that in case of the fungi, always the asexual reproduction is resultant by the formation of spores. Okay. In case of the asexual reproduction, always it results the formation of spores. Here you can see that, and that spores may be motile or non-motile in some cases. First, we will discuss about that. What is zoospores? We will start about the what is asexual reproduction in case of the fungus. It is generally occurs in all the fungi. It usually takes place during unfavorable conditions. Okay, asexual reproduction is always takes place during unfavorable conditions by means of a wide variety of uni or multicellular spores. asexual reproduction जब भी होता है एक अनफेवरेबल कंडीशन में होता है और होने के बाद वो क्या करता है, आइदर यूनिसेलुलर स्पोर फॉर्मेशन करता है या फिर मल्टीसेलुलर स्पोर फॉर्मेशन करता है. ठीक है, and let's discuss about some common type of the asexual spores. So first discuss about what do you mean by the zoospores. Zoospores, okay. Zoospores are usually motile uninucleated. Zoospores are usually motile. Motile कैसे होगा? Zoospores motile uninucleated. Okay. Zoospores are motile and uninucleated, and these are the spore-like structures, or these are the spore-like structures. Here you can see these are also the structures, and these are the spores. It is the inner wall, it is exine, and this is what this one is the outer wall. That is this is the inner wall, that is entine. Okay. Exine, entine, and here is the flagella, and it is nucleus. Okay. Zoospore means these are the usually motile. Motile means the presence of the flagella, And uninucleate, that means the presence of the single nucleus, and it is naked flagellate structures, and it is found in the sac like structures. They are present in a sac like, ठीक है, जो मूणा जिनकी कुहंती, it is present in a sac like structure that is known as zoosporangium. 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 Okay, it is present in zoosporangiums. You can take the example of the albugo. 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 Let's come to the point conidium. Conidium. What do you mean by the conidium? हम लोग उस टाइम मतलब डिस्क्राइब किए थे कि नहीं कोनिडियम. These are the hyphae like structures or the thallus like structures. Here you can see these are the conidia like structures. Okay, sometimes these are non-motile spores which are born either singly or in chain. मैं बोली थी ये either ऐसे single होंगे, ठीक है, it may occurs either in single or it may occur in case of chain like structures. कोनिडिया क्या करते हैं? दीज आर द नॉन मोटाइल स्पोर्स. इनका कोई फ्लैजेला नहीं होता है. द फ्लैजेला इज एब्सेंट एंड दीज आर आइदर बॉर्न सिंगल, ये इस टाइप का अकर होते हैं, या फिर दे विल फॉर्म ए चेन लाइक स्ट्रक्चर्स. ओके, एंड इट इज फाउंड इन केस ऑफ एग्जांपल पेनिसिलियम. पेनिसिलियम. ओके, नेक्स्ट कम टू द पॉइंट ओइडियम. हेलो, हेलो, मेरा वॉइस सबको सुनाई दे रहा है कि नहीं?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Here you can see these are the structures of the oidea or the oidium like structures. Okay, it is a oidium. These are the small and thin wall like structures. Okay, here you can see it is the structures of the oidea. These are the small and thin wall like structures due to the fragmentation of the somatic hyphae. मतलब ये क्या होता है? These are the somatic hyphae. इसमें क्या होता है? पार्टीशन होता है. ओके, पार्टीशन होने के बाद ये स्मॉल ओइडिया लाइक स्ट्रक्चर फॉर्मेशन करते हैं. ये मतलब लाइक स्ट्रक्चर फॉर्मेशन करते हैं, एंड ईच सेल विल बी डेवलप इनटू ए न्यू ओइडिया. हियर यू कैन सी दीज आर द ओइडिया. ओके, and each oidea or the hyphal branching by partitions, they will develop into a oidea or oidium. Oidea or oidium. It is generally found in case of the mucor. It is also one type of the fungus. Okay, next come to the point chlamydospores. Chlamydospores, it is also one type of the spores, and these are usually unicellular. ठीक है, ये these are unicellulars and thick walled. इनका जो walled होता है, it is usually thick walled in structures and non-motile. It is a resting stage period में होता है. ये resting stage में होता है या फिर dormant stage में होता है. ठीक है, generally they are found by the round in shape. ये देख सकते हो, it is round in structures. Here you can see these are the round in structures, and they are found in the non-motile, and they are present in the resting stage, and sometimes they may be appear in case of the terminal or the intercalary position. Terminal, that means they may be appear in the tip, or intercalary means lateral positions. Okay, here is the lateral positions, and at the tip means they are appear in the terminal means they are appear at the topmost portion. Okay, and it is found in case of the mucor and also ostilago. Okay, next come to the point aplanospores. Aplanospores means, or the sporangiophores. It is aplanospores or the sporangiospores. Aplanospores is otherwise called as sporangiophores. Okay, what happened in case of the aplanospores or the sporangiophores? These are usually the non-motile unicellular spores. Okay, these are usually non-motile unicellular spores, and which are formed within a sac-like sporangia. It is a sac-like sporangia which are formed within a sac-like sporangium, and the hypha bearing terminal sporangium. टर्मिनल मतलब ये सबसे टिप में इतना बड़ा सा सैक लाइक स्ट्रक्चर को मतलब कैरी आउट किया है, ये हुआ हाइफा. ओके, एंड इट इज कॉल्ड अ स्पोरांजियोफोर. स्पोरांजियोफोर क्यों बोला, इट इज ए स्पोरांजियोफोर. क्यों इसे स्पोरांजियोफोर कहा जाता है? क्योंकि इसके अंदर में बहुत सारा स्पोरांजियम है, एंड स्पोरांजियम के अंदर में स्पोर्स आर प्रेजेंट. ओके, and columella is for to provide the nutrition to the developing spores. That's why it is called as sporangiophores. Here the asexual reproduction is finished. Next come to the point sexual reproductions. Is that clear all of you about the asexual reproduction? Next come to the point sexual reproductions. The sexual reproduction in case of the fungi, it is usually involves the fusion of the two compatibility nuclei. Okay, two type or the two variety of the nucleus का fusion होता है. ठीक है, compatible मतलब क्या समझते हो आप लोग? Is there anyone else who can say what do you mean by the compatible? Compatible क्या होता है? टू वेराइटी का कंपेटेबल मतलब एक पॉजिटिव स्ट्रेन होता है और एक नेगेटिव स्ट्रेन होता है. ठीक है, पॉजिटिव स्ट्रेन को वी कैन टेक एज द मेल एंड नेगेटिव स्ट्रेन वी कैन आल्सो टेक एज द फीमेल और अल्टरनेट और द वाइस वर्सा. Here, the divisions or the overall the sexual reproduction in case of the fungus takes place by the two process. One is the plasmogamy, another one is the karyogamy. Okay, प्लाज्मोगामी मतलब क्या होता है? प्लाज्मोगामी मतलब प्रोटोप्लास्ट फ्यूजन या फिर प्रोटोप्लास्ट फ्यूजन होता है या फिर प्रोटोप्लास्ट डिवीजन होता है. ठीक है, that is known as plasmogamy. And karyogamy means where the nucleus division or the nucleus fusion होता है. ठीक है, karyogamy means the fusion of the two nucleus and plasmogamy means the fusion of the protoplast, that is known as plasmogamy, and karyogamy means the fusion of the nucleus. And in case of the sexual reproduction in case of the fungi, generally it is takes place by the three process. One is the plasmogamy, another one is the karyogamy, third one is your meiosis. Okay, plasmogamy means the fusion of the protoplast, karyogamy means the fusion of the nucleus, and meiosis means one mother cells divided in by the process of the meiosis to produce the four haploid nuclei or the four daughter cells. Okay, so here you can see the overall reproduction structures. Here it is a haploid or the two compatible nuclei. This one is the male and this one is the female. By process of the plasmogamy, what happened? Hello, by the process of the plasmogamy ये क्या होता है? दोनों के बीच में प्रोटोप्लास्ट फ्यूजन
fusion.
होगा. फ्यूजन हो गया. फ्यूजन होने के बाद क्या होगा? N प्लस एन डाइकैरियन हो गया. यहाँ पे सिंगल सिंगल था लेकिन फ्यूजन हुआ. फ्यूजन होने के बाद टू न्यूक्लियस आ गया डाइकैरियन. ओके, उसके बाद क्या होगा? कैरियोगामी होगा. कैरियोगामी मतलब क्या? द फ्यूजन ऑफ टू न्यूक्लियस. जब फ्यूजन अब यहाँ पे टू न्यूक्लियस हुआ, यहाँ पे जब टू न्यूक्लियस है ये N प्लस एन डाइकैरियन. ठीक है, पहले तो प्लाज्मोगामी हुआ उसके बाद कैरियोगामी होगा. कैरियोगामी मतलब क्या? दैट मीन्स द फ्यूजन ऑफ टू न्यूक्लियस. यहाँ पे दोनों का फ्यूजन हुआ. दोनों का फ्यूजन होने के बाद इस टाइप का साइन है. देखो इस टाइप का साइन है. एक ऐसे ऐसे है और एक है सिंपल टाइप का. देखो हाफ, ये हाफ ये हाफ, दोनों का फ्यूजन हुआ. टू एंड डिप्लोइड न्यूक्लियस. फिर ये जो टू एंड डिप्लोइड न्यूक्लियस है इट विल अंडरगो द मेयोसिस. मेयोसिस से क्या होगा ना, एक सेल से या फिर एक मदर सेल क्या फॉर्मेशन करेगा? इट विल बी फॉर्म दैट four haploid nuclei. Okay, here you can see these are the four haploid nuclei. Four haploid nuclei ये diploid था मतलब टू इस टाइप का होगा और टू इस टाइप का होगा. देखो okay, two nuclei are present like that or two daughter cells are present like that and two daughter cells are present like that. This is the overall reproductions. Okay, let's discuss about plasmogamy or planogametic copulations. Generally the process of the plasmogamy in case of the fungus, it is also consist of the variety of process. First one is your planogametic copulations, or we can also call that it involves the three types of the process. One is the isogamy, another one is the anisogamy, and your third one is the oogamous. Okay, आइसोगामी मतलब क्या समझते हैं? आइसो मतलब क्या होता है?
Similar.
वेरी गुड.
इक्वल.
आइसो मतलब सिमिलर. मतलब वो क्या होते हैं? फिजियोलॉजिकली भी सिमिलर होते हैं और मॉर्फोलॉजिकली मतलब क्या? उनका बॉडी स्ट्रक्चर दोनों का सिमिलर टाइप ऑफ होता है. ओके, मतलब दो इट इन्वॉल्व्स द फ्यूजन ऑफ टू मॉर्फोलॉजिकली सिमिलर and motile gamete, that is known as आइसोगामी. ओके, नेक्स्ट कम टू द पॉइंट, एनिसोगामी. एनिसोगामी में मतलब क्या होता है ना, हियर बोथ द फ्यूजिंग गैमेट्स आर मोटाइल, मतलब जो दोनों में फ्यूजन होगा, मेल में और फीमेल में होगा, उनमें जो होता है क्या, फ्यूजन होगा. एंड दैट शुड बी दैट द मेल गैमेट शुड बी स्मॉलर एंड द फीमेल गैमेट शुड बी लार्जर वन. दैट इज कॉल्ड एज एनिसोगामी. मतलब उनका मॉर्फोलॉजिकली में सिमिलरिटी नहीं है कुछ भी. मॉर्फोलॉजिकली कैसे सिमिलरिटी हुआ, मेल बड़ा है, मेल छोटा है और फीमेल विल बी लार्जर वन. दिस टाइप ऑफ द फ्यूजन इज नोन एज एनिसोगामी. ओके, नेक्स्ट कम टू द पॉइंट, ओगामस. ओगामस क्या होगा, जैसे ही एनिसोगामी में है मॉर्फोलॉजिकली डिसिमिलर, लेकिन एक पॉइंट है जो कि मतलब जैसे कि मतलब oogamous में भी फीमेल विल बी लार्जर वन बट इट इज नॉन मोटाइल, but in case of the male it is smaller one but it is motile. Okay, by fusion of these two we can say that it is a oogamous type of the fusion. Next come to the point, gametangial copulations. gametangial copulations मतलब क्या समझते हो, gametangia. Gametangia copulation. Copulation means fusion and gametangia means two type of the gametes are contact with each other and their copulations or their fusion will be takes place. That is called as gametangial copulations. Okay. नेक्स्ट कम टू द पॉइंट, गैमेटांजियल कॉन्टैक्ट. वो हुआ कॉपुलेशंस मतलब फ्यूजन हुआ, लेकिन ये क्या हुआ, कॉन्टैक्ट. कॉन्टैक्ट क्या होगा, इन दिस प्रोसेस द गैमेट्स आर नॉट रिलीज फ्रॉम द गैमेटांजिया. मतलब गैमेटांजिया में क्या होते हैं, गैमेट्स रहते हैं, लेकिन गैमेट्स क्या करेगा, उसका जो गैमेटांजिया है उसमें से रिलीज नहीं होगा. ओके, उसमें से रिलीज नहीं होगा और उनके
मैम
बीच में
मैम आउथरे रिपीट सेटा करिवे
कोटा गैमेटांजियल कॉन्टैक्ट. हेलो,
आगे.
अच्छा,
यस मैम,
गैमेटांजियल
यस मैम.
कॉन्टैक्ट. ओके ओके, गैमेटांजियल कॉन्टैक्ट कौन हुए, जो गैमेटांजिया गोटे थाए, गैमेटांजिया जो कि गैमेट गुडा माने स्टोर हेकी रही थाए, दैट इज नोन एज गैमेटांजिया है ना. ये जो गैमेटांजियल कॉन्टैक्ट रो प्रोसेस रे कौन हुए ना, गैमेट्स रे कौन रिलीज हुएनी गैमेटांजिया रो है ना. जेंति कि माने सपोज एक सेकंड ये देखि परिबो, गैमेटांजिया इट इज ए गैमेटांजिया लाइक स्ट्रक्चर्स. ये सपोज गैमेट गुडा पूरा स्टोर हेकी रही है ना, बट ये जो गैमेटांजियल कॉपुलेशन बा कांटेक्ट हेले कोन दरकार, एटू गैमेटांजिया बा गैमेट्स गुडा बाहरिबा दरकार. ओके नहीं, बट कांटेक्ट हेबा पे एटू गैमेट्स बाहरिया को दरकार, बट एटू कोन करे गैमेट्स गुडा रिलीज हुएनी बट कोन हबना टू गैमेटांजिया, गैमेट्स एटू बाहरिया को दरकार. गैमेटांजिया भितरे गैमेट्स अछि, एटा गोटे गैमेटांजिया, एटी गोटे आ गोटे गैमेटांजिया, से देछि गैमेटांजियल कांटेक्ट. आमे कोन करबा, गैमेटांजियल कांटेक्ट करिया पे दुईटा गैमेटांजिया को पाखो को नै आसीबा. एटा हला तमरो मेल रो गैमेटांजिया, एटा हला तमरो फीमेल रो गैमेटांजिया. ए दुईटा को जेतले पाखो को नै आसले तांको भितरे जेतले आमे कांटेक्ट करेबा ऑटोमेटिकली फ्यूजन हबो. दैट इज नोन एज गैमेटांजियल कांटेक्ट.
मैम दीटा भितरे डिफरेंस कोन,
दीटा भितरे डिफरेंस हला, गैमेटांजिया मींस इट इज फॉर द मेल केस हला, मेल मानक पई, एंड गैमेटांजिया मींस इट इज फॉर द फीमेल. जेहेतु आमे जानि चंती ऑपोजिट बा कंपैटिबल स्ट्रेन को माने कोन फ्यूजन करंती, ताहाले जाई कि हम आंकर रिप्रोडक्शन हबो. सेति पई आमे दुईटा वेराइटी रो कांटेक्ट करबा, ऑपोजिट सेक्स को माने कोन करिवे, से माने कांटेक्ट रे आसीबे बा माने अट्रैक्ट हेबे ऑपोजिट सेक्स प्रति. सेति पई आमे गोटे मेल गैमेटांजिया कांटेक्ट को रखिबा आ गोटे फीमेल को कांटेक्ट को रखिबा, ताहाले जाई कि तांको भितरे कॉपुलेशन हे परिबे बा कांटेक्ट हे परिबे. ओके, दैट्स व्हाई वी कैन कॉल देम एज गैमेटांजियल कांटेक्ट. केमती कोन ट्रांसफर हबो तांको भितरे, केमती ट्रांसफर हबो, गोटे ट्यूब थ्रू रे देयर विल बी ए फॉर्म a tube from which they can come into this gametangia or they can go into this gametangia. Likewise, there will be contact will be formed between two gametangia. That's why we can call as them gametangial contact. बुझेला
मैम टिके गोटे डाउट अछि.
हाँ को
मैम मु पचारथि कि गैमेटांजियल कॉपुलेशन और गैमेटांजियल कांटेक्ट भितरे कोन डिफरेंस अछि.
देखो गैमेटांजियल पॉपुलेशन को ना, गैमेटांजियल पॉपुलेशन रे ମାନେ ଦୁଇଟା ଆମେ ଗ୍ୟାମେଟ୍ସ କୁ फ्यूजन करेଇବା ଗ୍ୟାମେଟ୍ ରୁ ମାନେ ଗ୍ୟାମେଟ୍ସ ମାନେ ରିଲିଜ ହେବେ ଫାର୍ଷ୍ଟ ରୁ ଗ୍ୟାମେଟ୍ସ ଫାର୍ଷ୍ଟ ରିଲିଜ ହେବେ ତାପରେ ସେମାନଙ୍କ ଭିତରେ କପୁଲେସନ ହବ ସେଇଟା ହଉଛି ତମର ଗ୍ୟାମେଟାଞ୍ଜିଆଲ କପୁଲେସନ ବଟ୍ ଗ୍ୟାମେଟାଞ୍ଜିଆଲ କଣ୍ଟାକ୍ଟରେ କଣ ହବ ନା ଆମେ ଦୁଇଟା ଗ୍ୟାମେଟାଞ୍ଜିଆକୁ ରଖିବା ଏଠି ଗୋଟେ ଗ୍ୟାମେଟାଞ୍ଜିଆ ଏଠି ଗୋଟେ ଗ୍ୟାମେଟାଞ୍ଜିଆ ଏ ଦିଟାକୁ ରଖିବା ବଟ୍ ତାଙ୍କ ଭିତରେ ଫ୍ୟୁଜନ ଏମିତି ଡାଇରେକ୍ଟଲି ହେଇପାରିବନି କେମିତି କଣ ହେଇପାରିବନି ଆମେ ତାଙ୍କୁ କଣ କରିବା ଗୋଟେ କଣ୍ଟାକ୍ଟରେ ରଖିବା ଆକୁ ବି ପାଖରେ ରଖିବା ତାକୁ ବି ପାଖରେ ରଖିବା ଯେତେବେଳେ ପାଖରେ ରଖିବା ସେତେବେଳେ କଣ ହବ ନା ଗୋଟେ ଟ୍ୟୁବ ଫର୍ମେସନ ହବ ହେଲା ଟ୍ୟୁବ ଫର୍ମେସନ ହବ ଯେତେବେଳେ ଟ୍ୟୁବ ଫର୍ମେସନ ଟା ହବ ଏଗୁଡା କିଛି ବ୍ରଷ୍ଟ ହବନି ୟା ଦେହରୁ ବି ଗ୍ୟାମେଟ ବାହାରିବନି କି ୟା ଦେହରୁ ବି ଗ୍ୟାମେଟ ବାହାରିବନି ଗ୍ୟାମେଟାଞ୍ଜିଆରୁ ବଟ୍ ଏଇ ଦିଟାକୁ ଏମିତି ଆମେ ଜଏନ କରିବା କି ଯେମିତି କି there will be a tube will be formed through which some gametes will be moved towards the female or some gametes will be moved towards the male ଏଇଭଳିଆ ଭିତରେ ଏଇଟା ହଉଛି ତାଙ୍କ ଦିଜଣଙ୍କ ଭିତରେ ଡିଫରେନ୍ସ ମାନେ ସେଠୁ କଣ ଗ୍ୟାମେଟାଞ୍ଜିଆଲରୁ ଗ୍ୟାମେଟ ରିଲିଜ ହବ ବଟ୍ ଏଇଠୁ କିଛି ରିଲିଜ ହଉନି ବରଂ ତାଙ୍କ ଭିତରେ ଗୋଟେ ଟ୍ୟୁବ ଫର୍ମେସନ ହଉଛି ଯାହା ଫଳରେ କି ଏଇ ଗ୍ୟାମେଟ୍ସ ଗୁଡା ଏପଟକୁ ଆସୁଛନ୍ତି ଏଇ ଗ୍ୟାମେଟ୍ସ ଗୁଡା ସେପଟକୁ ଯାଇପାରିବେ ହେଲା ସେଇଟା ହଉଛି ତମର ଗ୍ୟାମେଟାଞ୍ଜିଆଲ କଣ୍ଟାକ୍ଟ ଏଇ ଦିଟା ଗ୍ୟାମେଟାଞ୍ଜିଆକୁ ଆମେ କଣ୍ଟାକ୍ଟରେ ଆଣିଲୁ ବୋଲି ସିନା ତାଙ୍କର ମାନେ ଓଭରଅଲ ରିପ୍ରଡକ୍ସନ ଟା ହେଲା ନହେଲେ କେମିତି ହେଇପାରିଥାନ୍ତା ଗ୍ୟାମେଟାଞ୍ଜିଆଲ କଣ୍ଟାକ୍ଟ ଆଣିବା ଫଳରେ ଗୋଟେ ଟ୍ୟୁବ ଫର୍ମେସନ ହେଲା ଏଇ ଟ୍ୟୁବ ଫଳରେ ଓଭରଅଲ ରିପ୍ରଡକ୍ସନ ହେଇପାରିଲା ତାଙ୍କର ବୁଝିହେଲା ସୋନାଲି
ହଁ ମ୍ୟାମ୍ କ୍ଲିୟର ହେଲା।
Okay. Next come to the point spermatization. Hello. Spermatization ମାନେ କଣ ରେ? କିଏ କହିପାରିବ spermatization ମାନେ କଣ? Spermatization ମାନେ କହିଲେ some fungi ଯେମିତି କି Basidiomycetes or the Ascomycetes ସେମାନେ କଣ higher fungi ମାନେ ହେଲା ଏମାନେ କଣ କରିବେ ନା ମାନେ produce କରିବେ ଛୋଟ ଛୋଟ numerous of the minute ମାନେ ଛୋଟ plus minute they will form small or minute and uninucleated like structures okay that is known as numerous male gametes ସେ କଣ କରିବେ produce କରିବେ male gametes some fungi ଯେମିତି କି ତମର ହାୟର ମାଇସିଟିସ୍ ମାନେ ଯେମିତି ବେସିଡିଓମାଇସିଟିସ୍ ହେଲା ଆସ୍କୋମାଇସିଟିସ୍ ହେଲା ସେମାନେ କଣ କରିବେ ମାନେ ଛୋଟ ଛୋଟ ଏଇଭଳିଆ ଷ୍ଟ୍ରକ୍ଚର୍ସ ଗୁଡା ପ୍ରଡ୍ୟୁସ କରିବେ ଯୋଉଟା କି ୟୁନିନ୍ୟୁକ୍ଲିଏଟେଡ୍ ଥିବ ୟୁନି ମିନ୍ସ ସିଙ୍ଗଲ ଟାଇପ ଅଫ ଦ ନ୍ୟୁକ୍ଲିୟସ୍ ଥିବ and they like the male gametes generally spermatization means sperm means male okay that's why it is known as spermatizations okay here the reproduction is almost complete. Thank you, all of you students. Tomorrow we will do our next class. Okay.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you,
Thank you.
ma'am.
Students wait for some minutes. Our esteemed coordinators are will take today's class. Okay. Sir. Dear learners, our esteemed coordinators are will take today's class. So you will listen carefully and join immediately. Okay.
Okay. Hello. So today I'll go about the first unit, first block, that is okay. Today I'll take the first block. That is ecology and their environmental factors. So at the outset, you must know that what is ecology. Actually, ecology, that is it comes from the two words, that is oikos and logos. Oikos means house, logos means to study. And ecology deals with study of living organisms with relation to their environment. Study of living organisms in relation to their environment. Okay. Or most appropriate definition of the ecology, that is the reciprocal relationship between biotic and abiotic components. Reciprocal relationships between biotic and abiotic components. Okay. Now, regarding the what is the environmental or ecological factors? Okay. What are the ecological factors? Any factors which have direct or indirect impact on the growth and development of living organisms. It may be plant or animals. That is known as what? Environmental factors or ecological factors. Now, how many types of ecological factors? There are actually 4 types of ecological factors. The first one, that is climatic. The second, that is edaphic. The third, that is topographic. And the fourth, that is biotic. Okay, mark it. Again, I am repeating that there are 4 ecological factors or environmental factors. The first one, climatic factors. The second one, edaphic factors. And the third one, that is topographic factors. And fourth, that is what? Your biotic factors. Okay. Regarding climatic factor, what is climatic factors? Any factors which controls, which having impact on the climate, having impact on the what? It is the climate, or that is climatic factors. And it has been observed that though the climate of a particular region is fairly uniform over a wide area, variations in the climate can take place over relatively small areas due to the topographical or other factors. And the climatic factors may be subdivided into, that is, first, it may be number one, water. The second, atmospheric moisture. The third, temperatures. Fourth, light. Fifth, wind velocity. And sixth, atmospheric gases. Again, I'm repeating this term, that is actually how many ecological factors? There are 4 ecological factors. The first one, that is climatic, the second one, that is graphic, the third one, that is topographic, fourth one, that is biotic. Under climatic factors, again, it is as follows, that is, it may be water, it may be atmospheric moisture, it may be temperature, it may be light, or it may be wind velocity, or it may be atmospheric gases. The first one, that is what? That is the water. The role, I'm telling about the water, which comes under which, that is climatic factors. And the role of water in growth and development of a plant is of great importance. Water is absolutely essential for the protoplasm of living cells. The hydration of the protoplasm is essential for its correct organization and for the proper functioning of the organelles it contains. And again, another important role of the water, that is, water is a medium for the movement of gases, minerals, etc. within the plant. Enzyme acts in a medium of water. Water takes place in numerous conducting and hydrolyzing reactions. Okay. Then under the category of the water, the second point, that is what? That is precipitation. Precipitation. Okay. Again, on the availability of water, the plants are classified into the following ecological groups according to the availability of water. The first one, that is hydrophyte. The second one, that is xerophyte. Third, that is mesophytes. First, hydrophytes. Plants prefer to grow in water or near water. Plant prefers to grow in water or near water. That is called hydrophytes. Xerophytes, plants prefer to grow in the scarcity of water. Scarcity of water. Or what are the best example of xerophytes? The best example of xerophytes, you may take any plants which prefer to grow in the scarcity of water. That means what? That means, tell me any example of xerophytes. The most popular example, that is, or locally available example, that is, you may take, that is the cactus, opuntia, acacia, and your what? Your casuarina, pine, etc. Regarding the hydrophytes, you may take any example which are available in your locality. It may be available, that is, it may be what? Lily or water lily, lotus, or what? Azolla, then Paltizoma, Salvinia, etc. That is. Okay. Again, again, on the basis of precipitation, on the basis of waterfall, or broadly speaking, there are 3 distinct kinds of vegetations, because the vegetation totally depends upon the waterfall. What are the 3 important vegetations? That is, it may be forest, grassland, and deserts, which are developed as a result of what? Rainfall. Again, in case of forest, you may take the category, it may be deciduous forest or it may be tropical forest, whatever that may be. And regarding the grassland, you may take any example of grassland. Suppose, as for grassland of North America, that is known as prairie, and grassland of Australia, that is known as downs, grassland of your South America, that is known as what? Pampas, and grassland of Eurasia, that is known as veld, or okay, or savanna, that is. Okay. That's about what? Regarding the availability of waterfall. The plant has been classified, and availability of the waterfall, the vegetation, that is. Okay. Then, what is the effectiveness of what? Precipitation. Effectiveness of precipitation. Rainfall affects plants by increasing the moisture content of the soil. Okay. The amount of water available to the plants as soil moisture depends upon the rate and kinds of precipitation, and also the nature of vegetations. Okay, that's about. And that means precipitation is therefore divided into several parts and is denoted by the following formula. Put down the formula, that is P. P equal to PE plus RO plus CL plus delta SW plus delta SP. Again, I am telling that precipitation, you can write down that is precipitation is therefore divided into several parts and is denoted by the following formula. That is P equal to PE. Again, I am telling that precipitation, that is P equal to PE plus RO plus CI plus I plus delta SW plus delta SP. Again, I am telling that where P is equal to precipitation and PE equal to potential evapotranspirations, RO equal to runoff, CI is equal to interceptions, I equal to infiltrations, delta SW equal to storage of water in the soil, and delta SP equal to storage of water in the plants. That is about the role of water for the growth and development of the plants. The second point, that is what? Atmospheric moisture. Atmospheric moisture. Second climatic factor. Okay, I am discussing about the climatic factor now. Next, I will go about the edaphic, topographic, and your biotic. The second climatic factor, that is atmospheric moisture. In this case, what? First, that is comes from humidity. What is humidity? Water is always present in the atmosphere in the form of invisible water vapor, and this is normally known as humidity of the air. Okay. Then you know what is humidity? The percentage of atmosphere. Again, what is relative humidity? The percentage of atmosphere, the percentage of moisture present in the atmosphere. That is what? Relative humidity. Okay. Then the relative humidity of a place, besides being affected by the temperature and pressure, is also affected by wind, exposure, vegetation, and water content of the soil. Okay. Then under the atmospheric moisture, then comes what? That is cloud and fog. Cloud and fog. That second what? That is snow. Okay. Then hail. Then what is the effect of atmospheric moisture on plants? Because already I have told that. What is the ecological factor or environmental factor? Any factors, again I am telling that, any factors which have direct or indirect impact in the growth and development of the plant, that is called environmental factors. And there are 4 types of environmental factors. One is climatic, second edaphic, third topographic, fourth biotic. Under the climatic factor, it may be first number 1 water, second what atmospheric moisture. Now what I'm discussing about what? Atmospheric moisture. And the effect of atmospheric moisture on plants. What is the impact? The first one, that is any plants which prefer to grow on the humidity or on the moisture content, that is called what? Hygrophytes. Hygrophytes. That means, well, what do you mean hygrophytes? Any plants which prefer to grow in the relative humidity which is very high, that is hygrophytes. What are the best example of hygrophytes? The best example of hygrophytes, that is most of the cryptogams. What do you mean cryptogams? The cryptogams, that is, what is cryptogam? That is what? That is non-flowering plants. Cryptogams, non-flowering plants. What do you mean non-flowering plants? That is, market plants kingdom have been divided into 2. One is cryptogams, the other is phanerogams. Under the cryptogams, you will what? Your thallophytes, bryophytes, and pteridophytes. So that is what? Thallophytes, bryophytes, and pteridophytes. These are what? Usually what? Bryophytes and your pteridophytes. These are most prefer to grow. These are commonly known as what hygrophytes. Prefers to grow under what in the moisture, that is. The second, that is what, that is epiphytes. What is epiphytes? Plants prefer to grow on the other plants, above the other plant. That is epiphyte, without doing any harm to that plant. That is what epiphytes. Okay. What are the instrument to use the relative humidity? The instrument which is being used to measure the relative humidity, that is known as what? Psychrometer. 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 Psychrometers. That is an instrument which helps to measure the relative humidity of the atmosphere. Okay. Then come to what? That is third ecology, third climatic factor, that is what? Temperature. Temperature. That is what? Temperature denotes the heat energy available from solar radiation. Temperature denotes the heat energy available from solar radiations. Solar radiation at the limit of our atmosphere is equivalent to about 2 calories per square centimeter per minute. Okay. That means variation in terms what then what? According to the temperature marker, again I am telling that the temperature is maximum at the equator and decreases gradually as one goes to the north to the south. Again, the vegetation of the earth can therefore be grouped under different temperature zones. That is, as for example, is your equatorial forest, tropical forest, coniferous forest, and what? Alpine vegetation. Totally depends upon this forest, totally depends upon the what? Variation in temperature. Okay. That is. Then what is the impact of temperature on the plant? The effect of temperature on the plant, that is, temperature affects the rate of metabolic activities of the plant. Total the temperature reflect rate of metabolic activities. Rate of metabolic activities what? What do you mean metabolic activities? Metabolic, that means market. Metabolic activity, it includes what? Your catabolic and anabolic process. These are catabolic plus anabolic equal to metabolic. Catabolic, that is a destructive process, and your anabolic, that is a constructive process. The best example of catabolic process, that is respiration, and the best example of anabolic process, that is what? Photosynthesis. So that is okay. That means catabolic, anabolic, it includes what? That is photosynthesis and respiration. The rate of photosynthesis and respiration increases with increase in temperature. Mark it. The rate of photosynthesis and respiration increases with increase in temperature up to certain limit. That is up to 25 degrees centigrade to up to 35 degrees. Which is considered the what? Optimum temperature for the metabolic activities of the plant. Again, high temperature during the day increases the rate of photosynthesis, and low temperature during the night reduces the rate of respiration. Okay, that is. Again, next, temperature and plant geography. Actually, already I have told you that on the variation of temperature, on the basis of temperature, your vegetation here also has been classified. It may be equatorial forest, it may be alpine forest, it may be desert forest, or it may be coniferous forest. Okay. Then the fourth climatic factor, which is an important factor, that is what? Known as light. And you know the light, what do you light, that is? Light is a what? Form of energy, that is. And it is also an important climatic factor. Besides that, as it has its own status, it may be told that light as an ecological factor. So you can write light as an ecological factor. But this ecological factor comes under which category? That is climatic factor. Okay. Okay. Because light is the ultimate source of energy in any ecosystem. Okay. In the absence of light, or just I'm telling that. Can you tell me what is the difference between the plants and the animals? What is the market? What is the difference between the plant and animals? The basic difference, that is what? Plants are almost all plants are autotrophs and animals are heterotrophs. Why plants are autotrophs? Because they can prepare their own food in the presence of light. And animals or heterotrophs also being considered as the consumers. They have to depend upon the plant for their nutrition. Okay, directly or indirectly. Again, remember that only 1% of light is used by the plant for the photosynthesis purposes. And the visible light ranges between the wavelength of 400. You know that very well, that is the range of the visible light, that is 400 and 750 millimeter. Okay, that is. Again, according to the availability of light, the plants have been classified into heliophyte and xeophyte. Mark it. The plants have been classified into heliophyte and xeophyte. And heliophytes are known as what? That is sun-loving plants or light-loving plants. And xeophytes are known as what? Shade-loving plants. Mark the word. Frequently this is asked. That is heliophyte, that is sun-loving plants or light-loving plants, and xeophyte, that is shade-loving plants. Okay. What are the, and it is your duty to differentiate between the heliophyte and what? Xeophytes. Okay, that is. Then about the light intensity, variation in light intensity, that is. Atmosphere influences the intensity of light to a very large extent, and the moisture of the atmosphere absorbs a high proportion of longer light rays and infrared, scattered the ultraviolet rays. The scattered light is termed as diffuse light or skylight. Okay. A part of the light that is only under which are visible spectrum, that is 420 to 500 μm, is reflected from the surface of the water, and a part observed by the upper leaves. Hardly 0.0001% of light reaches to a depth of the 50 meters and can cause very little of what? Photosynthesis. And dust and smoke can reduce the light by 90% of the metropolitan cities. And what is the effect of light intensity? Mark it. Again, I am telling that in photosynthesis, only 1% of the light energy is converted into potential chemical energy. Okay. Mark it. Light energy is converted into potential chemical energy. What do you mean with this? What do you mean this? That is, mark it. What do you mean autotrophs? These are also known as reducers. These are also known as producers. Autotrophs, that is otherwise known as producers or reducer. What do you mean producers? Any organism which can trap the solar energy and converts into potential chemical energy in the form of organic compound. That is called what? Producers, because it produces the potential chemical energy in the form of organic compound. That is nothing but what? Carbohydrate, which is deposited in the plant body in the form of what? Starch. Okay. Then the quality of light. Quality of light, that is different wavelength of the visible light do not have any appreciable effect on the plants. The UV light kills bacteria and many fungi. Okay. Again, it induces the anthocyanin formation and also affects the phototropism. What do you mean phototropism? The amount of light required for the flowering of the plant. That is called what? Phototropism. Then the light duration. Again, mark it. On the availability of light, on the availability of light or on the availability of light for the producing of the flower, the plants have been classified into three types. It may be LDP, long day plant, or second, that is short day plant, and third, that is day neutral plants. Okay. That's about the fourth important factors of what? Under climatic factors. The fifth one, that is what? Wind velocity. Okay, fifth point, that is wind velocity. The velocity of a wind at a place depends upon the various factors. As for example, again I am telling that the wind velocity of a place depends on the various factors. The first one, that is geographical situation. The second, that is topography. Third, that is altitude. Fourth, that is distance from sea source. And sixth, that is vegetation mass, etc. Okay. So what is the impact of wind on the vegetation? The impact of wind on vegetation, the first one, that is breakage. The second one, that is soil erosion. The third one, that is deformation. And fourth one, that is lodging. Okay, and sixth one, that is dwarfing. Okay, and the sixth subdivision of the climatic factor, that is what? Atmospheric gases. Market. The atmosphere surrounds the earth, contains three important gases, namely what? That is your carbon dioxide about 0.03%, oxygen about 21%, nitrogen about 79%, and an account of their effects on the plants, that is first about the carbon dioxide. Okay, what is the what is the role of the carbon dioxide? It is being used as what? Raw material for photosynthesis. Raw material for photosynthesis. Though amount is very small, about 0.03%, but it plays a very important role for the formation of what? Carbohydrate. Okay. Then about oxygen about 21%, nitrogen about 79%. That means the plants sink in the pool of nitrogen. We know that nitrogen plays an important role for the synthesis of amino acid, and ultimately group of amino acids constitute what? That is protein. Protein, and protein is nothing but it is the building material of any living organisms. Though plant sinks in the pool of nitrogen about 79%, but it cannot absorb nitrogen directly from the atmosphere. It absorbs nitrogen in the form of nitrates from the soil. So from nitrogen to nitrates, this process is being done by certain steps, which is known as what? Your nitrogen cycles. Okay, that is. Okay, that's about what? Regarding the climatic factors. Okay. The second important factors, that is what? That is second important ecological factors or environmental factors, that is what? Edaphic factors. Edaphic factors, otherwise known as what? That is soil factors. Edaphic factors, commonly known as soil factor. And the study of soil is known as what? That is pedology. The study of soil, that is pedology. What is the importance of the soil to the plants? The importance of the soil to the plant, that is first, number one. It plays an important role for the seed germinations. Second, it takes part in the what? Vigor of the vegetation, vegetative organs. It takes part on the depth of the root system. Then that is what? Number of flowers per plant, etc. What of that? Okay. Then about the type of soil. Market, I am telling about the edaphic factor, which is commonly known as soil factors. And what are the types of soil? There are four types of soil. One is that is rock soil. The second, that is sandy soil. The third one, that is humus soil. The fourth one, that is cold soil. Again, rock soil. Plants prefer to grow on the rock soil. These are known as what? Lithophytes. Mark the word. Plants prefer to grow in rock soil. That is known as what? Lithophytes. And plants prefer to grow in the sandy soil. That is known as psammophytes. Plants prefer to grow in the humus soil, that is auxilophytes, and plants prefer to grow in the cold soil, that is psychrophytes. And then about, from the next point, that is what? The soil profile. It have the objective question frequently associated, single word substitution, fill of the blank, short note. Actually, what is the soil profile? Mark it. With a single sentence, it may be defined. The arrangement of soils on different strata or different layers, that is called what? Soil profiles. Or as a result of soil formation factors, soil has certain definite structural and positional characteristics which form what is known as a soil profile. A soil profile is normally distinguished into three distinct zones, that is horizons A, B, C. That is start from surface to the downwards. That is horizon A is topsoils, and your horizon B, that constitute subsoil, and your horizon C, that is loose soil. Okay, that is, and horizon D, that is rock materials. That is okay. Then composition of the soil. There are four important components of the soil. The first one, that is mineral matters, which constitute about 40%, and organic matter, which about 10%, soil water, which about 25%, soil air, which about 25%. That is. Again, under the category mineral matters, which constitute about the 40%, which constitute about the what? And your soil texture. Okay. Soil texture is what? That type of soil. That means it may be sandy soil, it may be loamy clay soil, it may be loam soil, and sandy loam soil, silt loam soil, and clay loam soil. But the question may be asked, plants prefer to grow in which soil? Sandy soil or clay soil, loam soil, sandy loam soil, silt soil, loam soil, or clay soil. It is your duty to find out. Plants prefer to grow in which soil? Okay. That means which soil? Actually, loam soils. Loam soil are the best. Mark the word loam, L-O-M. Loam soil are the best for the growth of plants since these contains coarse sand as well as fine silt and clay particles. Okay, that is. Then organic matter which is present in the soil. The first, that is number one, soil humus. Second, soil organisms. First, soil humus. The second, soil organisms. What is the role of the soil organisms? The chief role of soil organisms, that is first, decay and the nutrient cycles. The second, that is nitrogen fixation. The third one, that is production of toxins. Fourth, that is pathogenic bacteria and mycorrhiza. Fifth, that is production of growth stimulating substances. Sixth, that is regulation of water and mineral contents of the soil, soil mixing and aeration. Okay. Then soil area, that is soil air. Aeration of the soil is absolutely essential for the absorption of water by roots, because mark it, for absorption of any type of absorption, it requires some amount of energy, which is not metabolic energy. And we get energy by the process of what? Respiration. And respiration is an important factor which provides energy to the living organisms. As absorption is an active process, it requires the amount of energy. And that's why this energy is being released by the root. Okay. Right. That is about the aeration of the soil. Then about soil temperature. Soil temperature depends upon the following factors. What are the factors? The first one, that is color and composition of the surfaces. The second, that is color and composition of the soil. Mark it. The second, that is porosity of water and content of the soil, plant cover, snow cover, slope exposure. Okay. That is the soil temperature. Responsible for the soil temperatures. Then the soil reaction or pH value. What do you mean pH? That is the negative logarithm of the concentration of the hydrogen ions. That is what? The pH. Okay. Soil pH has a direct impact on the growth and development of the plants. Soil pH has direct impact. Microorganisms are extremely sensitive to acidity. Microorganisms like bacteria are extremely sensitivity to what? Acidity. Okay. That is, you know the role of bacteria for the growth and development of factor or for the plant, that is because it helps to fix atmospheric nitrogen into the soil in the form of nitrates. Then saline and alkaline soil. Again, saline plants prefer to grow in the saline habitat is what? That is halophytes. Plants prefer to grow in saline habitat, that is called what? Halophyte. And what are the best example of halophytes? That is mangrove plants. In Odisha, where you will find the plenty of mangrove plants? In what? That is Bhitarkanika. Mangrove plants. And what are the characteristics of the mangrove plants? You go through the any book, that is. The last one, that is what? Soil cover. Soil cover. Soil cover is an important edaphic factor in as much as protects the soil from loss of water and from rapid temperature changes. The soil cover may be non-living or may be living. That's why very important question this one. Soil cover may be non-living. Non-living means what? It may be covered with the snow and dead leaf. Or living. Living means what? It must be covered with the plant. Okay. That's all about what? One of the most important chapter of the climate factor, that is sorry, environmental factor, that is what? Edaphic factor or soil factors. The third factor, that is what? Topographic factors. So what is the topography? What is the topographic factor? Okay. The irregular features of the Earth's surface. Irregular features of the Earth's surface is known as topographic or physiological factors. And the topographic factors include, first number one, altitude of the place. Altitude of the place. The second one, steepness of the slope. Steepness of the slope. The third one, exposure of the slope to the light and wind. The fourth one, direction of the mountain chains. Okay, that is about the topographic factors. So the last ecological factors or environmental factors, that is what? Biotic factors. That means the living biotic factors or what? Living factors. That means biotic factors or living factors. It includes your animals, plants. Okay, it includes animals, plants, and what? Microorganisms. Microorganisms. Okay. Then about the animals, that is, in case of animals, what are the impacts? That means grazing indirectly results in increase in the population of the unpalatable species because they can easily multiply in the absence of competition from the palatable species. That is what in case of animals. Then in case of plants, biotic factor. Market very important. This chapter very important because we know that normal plant, it is a special type plant that is normal, insectivorous plants. Insectivorous plants, market. Those plants which takes insect as their food. Why plant prefers insect as their food? Because where they are found in abundant where the nitrogen deficiency in the soil is very less. So in order to fulfill the nitrogen deficiency in their body, they take insect as their food. And what are the best example of insectivorous plants? The first one is that is the pitcher plant. The second one that is bladderwort or Utricularia. The third one that is Drosera or the sundew. The fourth one that is Venus flytrap. And fourth one that is butterwort. Okay, these are the what? Insectivorous plants. Then lioness. What are the lioness? Mark the word. L-I-A-N-S. Lioness. What is lioness? Lioness means what? Rooted climbing vascular plants. देखो what is frequently associated. Rooted climbing vascular plants are called lioness. Rooted climbing vascular plants are known as climber. Rooted market climbing vascular plants. The best example that is what? What? Your giloi jota kocho. Hala? What? Just be understood. Then about the epiphytes. Epiphytes are the plants that grow in other plants. These are normally found growing in warm and humid rainforest of the tropics. Tropical climate, where they are found in the mostly tropical climate. And epiphytes have xeromorphic features. Mark the word xeromorphic. X-E-R-O-M-O-R-P-H. Xeromorphic features such as succulent leaves, thick cuticle, and sunken stomata to survive. You know what is sunken stomata? It is the characteristic of what? Xerophytic plants. Sunken stomata is the important characteristic of xerophytic plants. And what are the best example of epiphytes? That is Vanda Ruxburgi. Rasna. Okay. Next, that is what? Parasites. What is parasite? Any organisms which depends upon the other organisms and those harm effect to that organisms. Okay, that means parasite obtains nutrition from the living plants or animals, which are called what? Host. Again, some common examples of stem and root parasites. That is the point. Very important. That is first one. Total stem parasite. That is 100% parasite. The best example that is what? Uscuta reflexa. That is Nirmoli, having no root. Cuscuta reflexa. This is 100% parasite. Those which are 100% parasite, a particular term to use, that is what? Obligate parasite. Obligate parasite. Your viruses, almost all viruses are obligate parasite, including your coronavirus. That is what? Obligate parasite. They 100% depend upon the living host. They cannot survive in the non-living. They cannot. You cannot find in the water, air, and soil, because these are the non-living substances. These are the non-living factors. Your viruses are obligate parasite. Likewise, a plant that is Cuscuta reflexa, that is also 100% parasite. Then partial stem parasite. Partial stem parasite means first they live as the parasite, then becomes independent to form able to form their own what? Photosynthesis. The total root parasite, 100% root parasite, that is Orobanche. It is the name of a plant. The partial root parasite, very peculiar. Partial root parasite means these plants first grow as the parasite, then it becomes independent. After few years, few months, they become independent, and they can manufacture their own food. That is partial root parasite. One of the best example of partial root parasite, that is Santalum album, that is Chandana Gocho, Chandan, sandalwood. Because sandalwood ta Chandan Gocho taku তুমি যদি গোটে খোলা জায়গায় লগাই দেব ওপেন ফিল্ডরে, ইট ক্যানট সর্ভাইভ। তা পাখে আউ গোটে ছোট ফুল গছ কিংবা ছোট গছ এভাবে গছ থিব, যোଉଠି তা রুটটা যাইকি সেঠু নিউট্রিশনটা আবজর্ব করিব। নিউট্রিশনটা আবজর্ব কলা পরে কেতে দিন পরে সে নিজে সেলফ ডিপেন্ডেন্ট হব। দ্যাট মিন্স পার্সিয়ালি। দ্যাটস আ পার্সিয়াল রুট প্যারাসাইট, দ্যাট ইজ হোয়াট? Santalum album, that is sandalwood. Okay. Then another best example, that is what? Lichens. Lichens. What do you mean lichens? It is the combination of both algae and fungi. You know that algae and fungi both having opposite characters, isn't it? Algae and fungi belong to group of thallophyte and having opposite characters. Algae prefer to grow in light, fungi prefer to grow in dark. Algae is autotrophs, fungi are heterotrophs. Algae prefer to grow under light, it prefer to grow under dark. Okay, then the reserve food matter of algae is starch, whereas reserve food matter of fungi is what? Your chitin. They are having opposite character, but when they form together, when both algae and fungi present together to form a single organism, that is called what? Lichen. The most curious organism in the plant kingdom, with the combination of both opposite characters, that is algae and fungi. And what is the most important role of the lichens? Lichens are though it can survive in any adverse condition, even on the surface of the rock, but they are very sensitive to pollutants like sulfur dioxide. In the pollutant regions where rich in sulfur dioxide, they cannot survive. That's why lichen is being known as what? Pollution indicator or bioindicator. The next word, that is what? Mycorrhiza. Mycorrhiza, MYCORRHIZA. Mycorrhiza. What do you mean mycorrhiza? Association of fungi with the roots of any higher plants. Mark it. Association of fungi with the roots of higher plants, that is called what? Mycorrhiza. The best example of mycorrhiza, that is pinus trees. Okay. That's okay. Actually, first class it was taken by the madam yesterday. Now today it is about what? Your ecology and ecological factors. So tomorrow I will go about the taxonomy and last coming two classes. Okay. Okay. Let us come, sir. Huh? Okay. Huh? Huh? Okay. Again, I'm telling that. Any doubt? Okay. Are you having any doubt regarding the ecological factor or ecology? Today's topic. Any doubt? Hello, Sonali. Hello, Sonali. Okay, thank you. Priyadarshani. Nivedita, no? Any doubt regarding ecological factors? Okay. So tomorrow I'll take about the taxonomy. Okay, that is also very interesting. I think more will join it. It is my first class. Okay. Only due to some unavoidable circumstances I have to take this. Okay. Thank you. Also, I enjoyed taking on the class. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, learners.